Supercar. The retired professor is here, Hal Fairchild. Now, Hal, you passed around a coin to everybody at this final table before we got started. Tell us a little bit about that coin.
It says one planet, one people, please, and it's a phrase from the Baha'i community that seeks to promote world peace. Crosby's and Stills wrote a song with the same title.
Love that.
We give these out as gifts that keep on giving. We give it to you, we ask people to pass it on, and pass it on, and pass it on, and the idea is if this coin can make it all the way around the world, there'll be no more war.
Absolutely love that. How do you not root for this guy? No offense to everybody else here at the...
So welcome to this special interview. We've got APT member Hal Fairchild. If you'd have seen him now, you might recognize him if you've been watching the WSOP coverage throughout the summer. So Hal had the run of a lifetime in the Millionaire Maker. He came fourth out of almost 12,000 people for a record score, 530K. Had the dream run, like really tough field. So yeah, first, Hal, I want to say congrats on the run. And yeah, how are you feeling?
Feeling very good about it. It's kind of a lifetime achievement in many respects, but I had so much fun at the final table that I just want to do it again. And I won $530,000 for fourth place in the Millionaire Maker, and I'm looking for bigger, bigger rewards. I'll tell you.
Hey, that's the great attitude.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell the APT members about your background in poker and how you found APT?
Yeah, I been playing poker seriously since 2007, and I'm not sure how I found APT. It must have been through an advertisement or something like that. And I joined APT, I think according to APT records in 2015. So that's 11 years ago. And it seems like it's been longer. So I don't know if that's really accurate or not. It seems like I've been a member of APT all my life. But I've been playing seriously since 2007. When I say seriously, I mean that I recorded my results of every session I play and to keep track of my ahead and behind. And so now I'm over $580,000 ahead. 530 of it thanks to the win last month at the WSOP. I must say that I made the smart decision. Unfortunately, I think APT no longer offers it, but I made the smart decision back in the day of joining with a lifetime membership in APT, which means that no monthly dues and no annual fees. It's just pay one large sum and you're good for life. And I upgraded it to an elite membership sometime thereafter. And I think the one message I would want to say to poker players is to think about poker as a sport. It is a sport. I mean, it is covered in Sports Illustrated or whatever. It takes a certain amount of stamina and mental acuity to play well. But if you think about a basketball game, the Lakers go out play a basketball game and it takes them an hour to play. Well, how many hours did they practice? They practice for days, hours a day for many days in order to play that 1 hour game. And so poker is really kind of the same kind of activity. And I think most of the experts in poker recommend working on your game away from the table. And APT has been my prime spot for working on my game away from the table. And if you do the analytics and look at how much I've spent time on Advanced Poker Training website, it's got to be thousands of hours. I must have played hundreds, if not thousands, of tournaments. I've done all of the courses and I've done all of the Beat the Pro exercises, and I've used the site religiously for the last 11 years. I do spend more time on the Advanced Poker Training website than I do playing in live poker. And it's all for preparation. The one good thing, I was going to show you a note I have. We have a note on our pantry door that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the hours of the tournaments that APT offers every day. APT offers 3 live tournaments with live opponents every day. There's usually 2 no limit tournaments and 1 Omaha tournament, and they're spread out different times at different days. And we kind of plan our day schedule around the APT poker tournaments. Well, is there a poker tournament on now? You have 30 minutes to get in it. Let's get in it now. My wife and I have both been very avid users of Advanced Poker Training website for all these years. And whenever we go play poker, we send text messages to ourselves, just play APT. And what that means, that's a signal to us to play smart. And one of the things I love about the APT website is that it evaluates your play. It has, I don't know, whatever algorithms that they use or you use to assess how smart you're playing. So that if you play a multi-table tournament and you play 100 hands, you're playing against robots, for example. At the end of 100 hands, you can look at the results of your play. And APT will tell you, well, pre-flop, you have an IQ score of 110. On the flop, you have an IQ score of 120. On the turn, you have a IQ score of 90 or whatever in the river. So it gives you IQ scores across the various streets of the game. And I use that a lot in my own thinking about how to play smart. And so when I'm actually playing poker live for real money, I'm always thinking about playing high IQ poker. And I define high IQ according to the way APT has taught me.
That's amazing. I definitely played at high IQ on the final table. I actually watched that live here very early hours in the morning for it back in England, and you just played magnificently. It was such a difficult final table to come into with the stack depths and everything, and I feel like you maneuvered it perfectly. Yeah, so really hats off to you. So, do you want to tell the viewers about that whole journey? So, like, how did it feel when you started that tournament and day one? Take us right to the beginning.
Well, it's kind of a surreal experience. And, I can't, it's kind of in a fog a little bit, but it was a 5 day tournament. They had four different day ones, A, B, C, and D. And each day one had its own day two. And after each day one's day two, then everybody combined for a day three, day four, and the final table was day five. And so a lot of it has to deal with just staying alive and surviving. And it became kind of surreal because I recall that I think probably the lowest payout was probably near the buy-in or whatever the buy-in was $1,500. The lowest payout was probably, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that. But I really remember becoming conscious of the payout board when the next person out would get $6,000. And I'm telling my wife, wow, we might get $6,000 out of this. I'm really kind of, salivating over that. And then the next pay jump is 8,000 and it keeps going up to 15,000, 20,000, all the way up to 100,000. And the final table, the lowest payout at the final table was 150,000 for the ninth place finisher. The eighth place finisher got something like 210,000. The seventh player got, I don't know, 290 or something. I mean, it just starts to go up pretty quickly. So that by fourth place, I ended up cashing out for 530,000. And I've never been more disappointed to win a $500,000 in that last hand of getting knocked out of that tournament.
Yeah.
And I played it back in my mind many times and thinking, what could I have done differently? And
Honestly, from watching your play, there was very little. Um, especially with your stack depth. I felt like you did magnificently just to ladder up. There were so many bigger stacks and there were so many close stacks and spots you could have probably ran your hands and just gone with it. But I felt like you played very disciplined, and I was really impressed actually watching back here. So do you want to? Was there a moment, maybe day two, day three, day four, when you maybe you played an important hand, a big spot where you're like, okay, this is a special run. I'm on.
well, I think the one hand that comes to mind is one where I was in a pot where I open raised with a middle pair, pocket sevens, as I recall. And I got re-raised by a very aggressive young Asian woman. And I must say that the young Asian women that were there, I think they're from Korea and from China, there's an Asian poker tour, were extremely good players. And they had um, media following them, taking video of their play. So they were like celebrities from somewhere. And I remember that when I first encountered one of the Asian ladies, that I was struggling with a stack of about 150,000 chips, and I was middle stack on my table. Then all of a sudden, this Asian girl, young girl, I mean, she's got to be in her 20s, sits down and she's got 700,000 chips. And another Asian girl sits down, she's got 1,000,000 chips. And I'm thinking, my God, where did they get all these chips? But I was in this hand, I think it was probably day four uh, when I open raised and got re-raised by the Asian lady, and the board came with overcards, and I checked and she bet, and I instant called thinking that my pair might be good. And I checked the turn, and she bet again. I just put her on an over aggressive stance, and I instant called again. And then the river came, and I just shoved on her, and she instant fold.
Okay.
And I think my hand may have been counterfeited by the river with a double paired board, both with pairs bigger than mine. But that was probably my biggest hand that I had to get into day 5. But it's just kind of surreal to see the pace of the play go in a way where you start to move up the ladder board and the field starts to shrink.
Mm,
We learn how to time ourselves, and a lot of things we learn on APT and from the coaches at APT about laddering up and taking your time in a way, letting the clock work for you. If you have shorter stacks that are on the table, then let them bust before you. And every bust means $100,000. So it was a
yeah.
fantastic experience.
So you said you were getting like you were paying attention to the payouts at 6,000. So obviously, like, it's quite significant. How did you handle the nerves, especially like getting towards the final table and beyond? How did you handle all that?
I would say that I had more excitement than nerves. It was just a fun ride. I've played a lot of poker, and I think that I take the advice of some of the APT coaches that says don't chop the final table. And so in these small tournaments around town, when I play at Hollywood Park or Hustler or Hawaiian Gardens or Commerce or wherever, if I happen to make a final table, I'm not chopping. I want to get the shorthand experience, and uh, and I think that's really paid off for me a great deal.
Oh, amazing. So
But I never
mm,
nervous. I just it was mostly excitement,
that's a
and I
great
felt
attitude.
and I felt as though I was there to win it, and I really wanted. I was thinking very strongly about winning the whole thing. I wanted the bracelet very badly.
Yeah, I mean, you lost what you like ace queen into nines, right, or something like that.
Ace queen into pocket nines, yeah.
Yeah, it's like what can you do? It's a standard flip there. So obviously you've had this amazing run, and it sounds like you're really excited to get back into the fray. What's your poker plans from like here on out going forward?
Well, the interesting thing is that since I've had this success, I actually want to go back to the APT site and do more training.
Okay.
The APT site has this great series of Beat the Pros challenges where you have 20 hands and you're playing King Queen, um, for example, and you're 20 hands playing King Queen or 20 hands playing Ace King or 20 hands on the button or whatever. These various pros have these challenges, and I played them all, but it makes me want to go back and play them again. And I remember Steve's um, No Bull poker course that I completed months and months ago. I probably went through it at least a couple of times, but now that I've had this success, I want to go through it again to remind myself of the pearls of wisdom that we got there.
That's awesome. Most people in your position would say, "Oh, I'm going to go and play this tournament or that tournament," but the fact that you're so like ready to go back into practice is like a really, really fantastic attitude for sure.
Not
There
only
was
practice,
mm,
reading,
and
reading
reading,
books.
yeah.
Yeah,
So there was one amazing hand in the final table where I think you and another guy, I think it might be the Gary something, but you both put each other on, called each other's hand out.
Gary
During,
Guru,
yeah.
Gary
So
Gurovich. That's the hand.
tell us about that hand.
That hand went kind of viral. I understand. But I'm in late position. I think I'm in the cutoff, and it was a little bit of a loose open, but it was folded to me, so I raised with Queen 10 offsuit. I think it was offsuit, and I got the dream flop. I got one caller, and I got the dream flop. The flop came 9 Jack King. I had Queen 10, so I flopped it straight, and I had position on my opponent. He was in the blinds, and Gary Gurovich, and he checks. I check behind. On the turn, he bets 1.1 million, and I call. And on the river, he bets 3 million, and I raise. And he goes into the tank and says, "Wow, what do you got? You got Queen 10. What do you have? Something like that." I had Queen 10, and I said, "Well, I actually wish I could take it back, but I said, well, I can only beat a pair of deuces or a bluff." And it turned out that he had deuces in the hole. I wish I had said I can't beat a pair of deuces. I can only beat a bluff because I wish your deuces are good,
Yeah.
but instead I said I can beat a pair of deuces. So he turned over his deuces and folded. So I showed him that I had the Queen 10 as well.
Yeah, what a crazy hand. That's amazing. So yeah,
I
how
think
honest? Yeah,
I
sorry.
think the strongest hand I made at the final table, strongest play I made at the final table was I think it was a blind versus blind against a chip leader. Joe Bagdaglian was his name, and he raises min raise, and I'm in the big blind with 10-9 suited, and I elected to three bet him right there. And I would say that was a lesson that I got from Alex Fitzgerald and some of the other coaches at APT about the value of the three bet. And the three bet is really that's sort of like the key to successful poker in position. But this was a situation where I just felt as though he was opening wide, and I three bet him with nine, with 10-9 of spades, as I recall, or 10-9 of clubs, and uh, and he folded. He went in the tank and folded. I think he then
Ah, yeah,
after
I
play,
remember this hand. Yeah,
and after seeing it on the video replays, he had like queen eight offsuit or something like that.
yeah.
But I thought I was proud of that. That wasn't one play I was most proud of.
Yeah,
Was the
I thought you went for a bluff. I remember with I think one of the biggest stacks open. I think you defended. I want to say King 10, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think the board was like Ace Ace something, and it went check check. And I think you bluffed big on the turn. And it was just
yeah.
unfortunate you came up against an ace because I think most of the time you're going to get a lot of his pairs to fold and other hands as well. So I thought that that was a very good good bluff, but just unlucky that he had an ace that time. Yeah, honestly, I watched for your whole final table. I went back through it once we were going to do the interview, and I just thought you played every spot really well. I think, like you said, laddering up was like crucial, and like yeah, you want to win it, of course, and then that's the dream. But 12,000 people, fourth place. That's to me, that's like a win. Awesome. So I guess obviously you've said to us now the immediate goal is to keep practicing. You've got a couple of tournaments coming up locally. I'm assuming you're going to be playing some big tournaments coming up soon as probably December with the WPT stuff maybe. Have you got any poker plans?
Well, I'm trying to make another final table just in the local tournaments. I played last night. I knew we were going to have this interview today, and I played last night. And I wanted to be able to tell you that I took it down, but instead I went out short of the money, and probably made a mistake with the parking lot hand, ace
Ace
queen.
Queen, yeah.
A very aggressive player in late position raises, and I'm in the small blind with ace queen, and I decided to go all in. In retrospect, I think I wish I had called, because ace queen is kind of more of a calling hand than a re-raising hand. But in that case, I was trying to take down what I thought was a loose open from a late position opener.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, the big blind woke up with ace king. So he called my all in, had me covered, and I was walking out the door, parking lot.
Yeah, what can you do?
But
Um,
yeah, there's lots of tournaments in LA. There's a Legends of Poker running at the Bicycle Club now, and we'll probably play that tomorrow and Saturday. Those are, I think, one is a 200,000 guarantee for a $400 buy-in. And there's some other tournaments coming up. We're looking forward to a poker cruise in
oh,
November
nice.
with a new company, Poker Players Cruises, and uh, just looking for tournament opportunities here and there, and just trying to make final tables and trying to play with good poker, good APT,
Amazing.
you
Good
could say.
APT poker. That's exactly right. So just before we go, so there's obviously all these APT members we've got there that would have grinded the summer just like yourself, played the Millionaire Maker and played these similar tournaments. What kind of advice would you give them if they're kind of hoping to have a deep run in the future?
I would say, if you're making a deep run, you want to stay patient and just play good, solid poker, make good decisions, don't panic,
Mm,
and don't try to force things. Fancy play syndrome is usually a bad idea, and just playing good, solid, what we call APT, or some people would call it ABC poker, but we call it APT poker.
nice, awesome. Hal, thanks so much for your time. Obviously, really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing you with a bracelet next time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep trying.
Good shot.
And now I have a plan for next year's main event.
Amazing. Thank you.